Here I am in Toronto, just outside Union Station. It's from here I will get the train up to Montreal, and then from Montreal I catch the sleeper train over to Halifax in Nova Scotia. This building is one of the most iconic buildings here in Toronto, and it's absolutely stunning. It's at 7:30 in the morning here, so I've gotten here exceptionally early just so I could see this building in this state. It's beautifully lit up, and it was built in around 1928. Absolutely beautiful. I'm booked on the business class today to Montreal, which means I get to lord it up in a beautiful leather seat, and a beautiful assistants wine and dine me and make me feel like a king. That's what it said on the brochure anyway. Let's go and find out. How about this for a station concourse? Isn't it fabulous? Up there is the business lounge, which I, as a business class passenger, will be sitting in a little while. But first, I'm going to have a look around. Now there is a similarity between this building and what used to be Euston Station in London, until the Stalinist architects ripped it down and replaced it with a concrete monstrosity. It was fully Art Deco with beautiful leather seats. Now this is what you call a railway station. It says, "Look at me, I'm wonderful." Absolutely amazing. I am travelling today with a company called Via Rail, and the coaches I'll be sleeping in tonight were actually made for the Channel Tunnel. The idea was that the Brits would launch an overnight sleeper service to Paris. So Bombardier made a whole load of carriages, but unfortunately it never came to fruition. So Via Rail bought the lot and had them shipped over here. So it's going to seem a little bit odd being on a train in North America with a British feel and sense of style about it. Now my journey today leaves here at 11:30, which is hours away, and it takes 5 hours. So I shall arrive in Montreal around 5 o'clock this evening. The sleeper train leaves Montreal at 7:30, gets into Halifax at 5:30 tomorrow, and that's in the evening. This station is absolutely beautiful. I went to a station the other day. It was a place called Burlington, and what a garbage heap that was. There was no indication of where the trains went or came from. They don't have destination boards on the front of the trains. I was on the wrong platform, almost got on a train to Toronto, and you more or less have to guess what train it is that's turning up at what platform. There were no signs or monitors to tell you where to go and what train to catch. It was like guesswork. Okay, so I'm going to go and see if the business lounge is open. It's still very, very early, so it may not be. So I'm going to turn this off and see what happens. Oh. As you can see, the business lounge is very, very busy. And the reason is, in about half an hour to an hour, all these people will be boarding a train called the Canadian. And that goes from here, from Montreal, all the way to the other side of the country to Vancouver. It's an incredible trip, and maybe one day I'll be keen to take it. Unfortunately, in here they don't do snacks. Got lovely coffee and horrible green apples, which make me sneeze. But it's pleasant enough. Better than sitting outside in the corridors. Loads of free coffees, fresh drinks, but no biscuits. So I'm glad I bought a whole load of them to have with my free coffee. And there you go, Toronto Business Lounge. Again, the style is in keeping with the rest of the station. If it was a lot quieter, it would be really a lot nicer. But it's not going to be this noisy for long. So because it is a private lounge, I'm going to turn off and come back later. Finally made it on board after almost a 2-hour delay. It is a beautiful carriage though. your name?
Roxanne.
Oh, yeah. Enjoying it?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Looking for something?
Just filming the train.
Okay. You just can't go, yeah, through that door.
So this is the last door?
Yeah, you can't stand in the middle while the train's moving. It's a crush zone.
Alright, I'll stay here then. Is the air conditioning not working properly in this carriage?
No, it should be.
It's ever so warm. Okay, this is the second time I'm going to do this because I forgot to press the record button on the phone. So, where am I and why? I'm in Montreal. Why are you in Montreal, Simon? Because Via Rail cancelled the train to Halifax. Yep. Not only that, but I was at Union Station, Toronto at 7:20 this morning, and I was like a kid in a candy shop. because I was going to ride on the Ocean Sleeper train to Halifax, Nova Scotia. We were due to leave Toronto at 11:30. We didn't leave until 1:30. The train was 2 hours late. It gets worse. I had a business class ticket, which was okay. Got fed. It was really quite nice, quite luxurious. And then there was an announcement of the tannoy that we were going to be 2 hours 45 minutes late getting into Montreal, which put a time at 7:45, 45 minutes after the Ocean was scheduled to leave. Not a problem. They were going to delay the Ocean for us, wait for us to turn up, and all we had to do was cross the platform, get on, and off we go. 20 minutes before we were due to arrive in Montreal, there was another announcement on the tannoy. The Ocean wasn't going anywhere. There was a mechanical fault and it has been cancelled. Well, that went down like a lead balloon on the train. So there I was, thinking, what on earth am I going to do? So Via Rail are obliged, apparently, to put everybody up in a hotel and send them on the way at another time. So the Ocean is going to leave tomorrow night. Well, that's no good for me, because I go back to the UK on Wednesday, and I have to do that from Hamilton. Now, to get to Hamilton, I've got to fly back from Halifax at midday on Tuesday. That's the time of my flight. But the Ocean won't get into Halifax until 5 hours after my plane was scheduled to leave. So I've got no choice but to go back to Toronto. The other problem is accommodation over here. It's really tough to get and it's expensive. However, the Pring guest house that I was at had nobody in it. They had loads of empty rooms. I've still got some luggage over there, so I shall give them a bell in the morning, and there shouldn't be a problem with them putting me up. They've got plenty of room, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I think what I will do is I will contact the airline that brought me over here, which is Play from Iceland, to see if I can go home a day early. I might have to pay a few quid, but there's nothing here left for me to do. The second point was Via Rail announced a 50% compensation scheme, so you can put that money towards another train journey here in Canada, which is great if you live here. But if, like me, you live in the UK, it's absolutely useless. So I went down to the ticket office here at the Union Station in Montreal, and I got a full refund, a 100% refund of $921. And the reason was I got a refund was because the only reason I was on that delayed train from Toronto was to board the Ocean. And so they think it's okay for me to have a full refund. I wasn't going to argue with them. Also, they're putting me up in this amazing hotel, and it is incredible. It's a first class hotel. You probably can't see it now because I've turned the lights on so I can see out the window. And I've also got a complimentary business class ticket back to Toronto at 11 o'clock tomorrow. So let's look and see how we can look at the pros and cons. The cons are I'm not going to ride the Ocean. Big disappointment. The pros, I've got all my money back. I got a free trip to Montreal and a free trip back to Toronto and a free night in a top class hotel with a view like this. So I'm not going to be too grumpy. I think I've done quite alright. My only problem is getting the money back from the airline at Halifax. That's Air Canada. That was a budget airline. I think it was $100 or something. So if I lose that, I'm not going to cry. I think I've actually come out on top of this. But there you go. That's my situation and why I'm looking out of a window at the Montreal skyline. I'm going to go to bed now.